Yes.
Ms. Stryker?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Albert?
Yes. Can you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I have a motion for the approval of minutes of the last regular meeting. Would you like to second? Albert. Albert, is there a second?
Scarmine.
Second. Any changes or corrections? If not, I'll vote, please.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Ms. Stryker?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Now we move on to introducing our new people to our district. And first director to come forward and introduce will be Regina Comstock.
Hi, everybody. I'm the lunch lady. I've got 2 new staff starting this year. I've got Tiffany Powell, and she's at the elementary. She's already actually started serving the little ones, and boy, her eyes have been open. And also Brittany Evans. She's at our middle school. So, and again, we started new trays, like hard, regular trays at the middle school. So that's been Brittany's job, is trying to make sure they're clean. And she just told me they had a little gum incident earlier this week.
Oh, no.
We'll have to see. All right.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Now Ronald Bain, Stanford Elementary.
Yeah, we don't have any gum problems at the elementary, so that'll come back to haunt me, I'm sure. We have several new faces, more than we had anticipated, but I believe everything happens for a reason. We got some really good people. We're going to start with preschool, so if you guys could line up here. First, we have Amber McElroy, is preschool intervention specialist, and Demi Snyder, also preschool intervention specialist. Missing from APOD is Hayden Wiseman, who's an ed assistant for our K1CC unit. She's not with us tonight. Autumn Critchfield is an intervention specialist at our Success Center. Moving on to BPOD, and with her is Amy McFarland, an ed assistant, also in our Success Center. And then in first grade, we have Caitlin Silva, her first year of teaching with us, and Sarah Manns, 4th grade. She's teaching language arts and science. We feel like she's at home with us because she's been in our building a lot, so we're happy to have her. And then we are missing Autumn Brown as an ed assistant in our 2nd through 4th grade CC cross-categorical unit. And we welcome Emily Goldsmith, an ed assistant with our 4th grade. And then moving on to DPOD, our 5th and 6th grade, we have Kelsey Boffman, intervention specialist for 5th grade, and Savannah Baum, 5th grade math. And then our lone 6th grade teacher, even though we had some movement, is Deb Manns for language arts. And we just fit. And that is it. Thank you.
Now Kirk Cameron, middle school.
Good evening. Likewise, we started out the summer not thinking we'd have that many openings, and it kind of grows. But we also snagged some home runs here, so I'd like my new staff to come on and line up, and we'll go down the road here. Since Wes is the first one up here with a beautiful shirt, by the way, I appreciate that. Wes is kind of our double threat. He is filling in, or he's not filling in, he is a bus driver and filling that great need that we have, but he's also serving as our graphic arts instructor in the afternoons. Tina Hiller is a 2013 graduate of Kenton High School and is coming back to us. And she has big shoes to fill, but she's also 4 days in. Couldn't be happier. So she's doing a great job. Next is our new librarian, since Miss Bullock moved to the high school, is Shelby Shape. And I was in late before school year started, and I was like, man, that's one big rat I hear, because I know I'm the only one in the building. Nope, it's her and her husband up there moving stuff around, getting the library ready. So lots of work already put into that space. Next we have Mr. Will Brown, and he is an aide out in our Success Center, in our high school Success Center. So he student taught in our building last spring. And I don't know if we grew on him or he grew on us, but we knew we wanted to see more of each other. So he fits great into this role. And last but not least, is Rosina Eikenberry. I kind of headhunted her a little bit last spring when we knew that we were going to lose Brooke Osmond. A little bit.
A little bit.
It got so much I was afraid she was going to have my phone number blocked. But she is the aide in our middle school CC unit, and I've known Rosina for years and her heart for kids, and love having her in this role. So.
And I think she snuck through a couple times not being recognized, so tonight it was important.
Yeah,
it's not that she's new, but
higher, but she's kind of been below the radar a number of times. So yeah, we want to make sure we recognize her. So that's our new staff.
Chad Thrush from the high school.
All right, good evening. I'd like our high school staff to come on up real quick, and then we can introduce them. I'll start off with Amanda Bookmeyer. Amanda is a Kenton High School alumni, but she is joining us in the High Point role there at the Northwood campus, and she's going to be teaching allied health and nursing. So we're very glad to have her. And they've done a good job of arranging themselves alphabetically, by the way. Ms. Haley Loveman is next, and she did a great job for us student teaching. Last year, little did we know that she would be able to take the position that she was student teaching. So she's going to be teaching U.S. studies for us, and we're excited to have her. Next is Kirsten Newland. We played a little paper, rock, scissors between Kirk and I won to be able to introduce her because she does work in both of our buildings. So she's going to be teaching 7 through 12 in vocal music, helping Todd DeQuino, but also doing some on her own as well. And she's also going to be leading the Dimensions for this year, so our middle school show choir group. And then finally, Brett Purcell is also kind of coming home, alumni here to Kenton, but he is our new athletic director, and we're very excited to have him. So these are our new high school staff.
So now you have to get your picture taken. So I don't know who's organized that, but.
well, Robin's standing, so let's do the elementary maybe first. That'll give you a minute. And then I'll tell you a little bit about Wes's position, because that's kind of a unique role and what we were able to do. So Wes's position actually came out of the EO, Expanding Opportunities for Every Child, EOEC grant, where we got the $400,000. And so what we're able to do with that grant is to create pathways for graduates. And so right now he's at the middle school doing, he's got a really fancy title because the grants have to make him really fancy just so that they can be covered. But he's actually employed with Midwest Regional, just like Christina Cross.
Okay.
So they're offering service. But our long-term plan for Wes is to be able to get his career tech licensing. And then he would create a pathway for us, just like a High Point pathways do. So our goal is that this innovation design lab kind of field, for those kids that are really entrepreneurs and want to do their own thing, we're hoping that in the 2 years that this grant goes, we can get him licensed, and then that would create one more career tech pathway for us. So we're really excited about that. Plus, he is the first one to really successfully do 2 classification jobs. So we have it in our contracts, right, that we wanted bus drivers to be able to do other things. And even though we have teachers that drive bus, like it's not a real true combined position, like a daily thing.
Right.
And Wes will be our first guinea pig with that, so.
He's what we refer to as a hybrid.
Yeah, he's the hybrid teacher.
No good deal. So ultimately, you'd hope to go full-time to Northwood.
Actually, to do the 7-12, like what Justin Rigsby does. So
Okay.
keep that pathway, and it replaces art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still teaching the visual. He's still got the graphic design background in those pieces. So it's a different kind of art,
Yeah.
but it will enhance, I think, the visual learning of our students, which is what we want. And then we have the other Ohio High Point pathway that will actually be at Northwood that's supposed to start in 2020, which would be business administration. So we'll be very well stacked with pathways for kids. So if you have an interest, we'll either have a pathway for you or we'll have an internship for you through the internship programming of what Christina does. So I knew their picture would take a long time. So that'll help a little bit. 7-12 will line up alphabetically, so it won't be a big deal. Okay, 7-12. They're pretty equal groups, Tim. I'm surprised how that played out. That was good.
See you later, ladies. Nice try on the phone, bucko. See ya. Congratulations, Dan. We'll see you later. I know you tried.
I was going to tell Emily she could go home, but now I know why she's staying. Forgot you had one in that picture.
You could walk home.
They'll just turn up, you know.
Like a cat, they always come back.
Thank you, guys.
See you, Rowena.
I never even saw who ended up.
Glad to see
It's right
alumni.
there.
Yeah, I seen one
Get
earlier
it.
too.
Right there.
Oh, yep.
Get it.
Did you go to school? Carol,
Hey, Tina.
where'd you go?
Tina, is that yours there by the chair?
Carol, she's old. Carol.
You may be needing that tomorrow.
She was.
Bye, ladies.
Yeah, have a
Great
good
night.
one.
Okay, so we should move on, I think, since all the public has left. there's no
Yeah.
participation. Move on to the reports of the treasurer. I need a motion, please.
Rush.
To approve. Rush, is there a second?
Striker.
Questions or comments? If not, we'll have a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Harvey,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Superintendent's report?
Just so we had a great start. I think we had one of the best starts, and it's an exciting year. You saw all the staff and all the alumni. Not very often that we get to hire so many graduates, so that's super exciting. And then we kind of have one more first day. So one group of kindergarten had first day today, and one group has tomorrow, and then we'll have all our first days out of the way. But even with the fog delay, we still did really well. I'm proud of the team. They did really well. But I think we'll actually cover everything in committee reports, and if there's anything else that we need to fill in gaps on, we can.
What is it about fog?
It's you. It is you.
It is not.
Yes, you get up. I know you went to bed and said, I wonder if she's going to call delay. That's what you did.
All right, move on to committee reports. Finance committee.
That's me, Mark. That is me. Two things I wanted to talk about. Financial audit has began. They were here for 4 days this past week. So far, so good, I think, from what I've heard and the little bit of feedback we have got. They will return at the end of September to do another couple areas for us. And then number two is we are looking as the Kent City School. I think as a whole, looking at maybe doing some supporting to the YMCA. They still need to get some upgrading done to the pool area, and we're looking into that at this point.
So the high school swim teams use that
Yeah,
facility.
and they use that
so
facility, yes.
Trying to help expedite their repairs there so we don't miss our swim season for this winter.
They've been very generous to us over the years, and we've had a really strong agreement with them. We appreciate that.
All right, facilities committee.
Facilities, lots of updates, all good. Just a few of them. Roof at the middle school and brickwork is completed. Soccer field, the concession stand, I believe, is done. That's good. Paving project at the middle school, that's done. Some of that work was behind the building. The painting, ended up painting about half of the rooms that need painted this summer. So a lot of good painting projects inside in the rooms.
And there are also, the reason that the paint crew got a little bit behind was because we pulled off our art teacher, Matt Fry, and he did some wonderful murals in the middle school. So if you haven't walked the halls, he did an outstanding job kind of just making it brighter, and I was really proud of what he did.
Just a couple others. The Kent Middle School roof on the garage is done. And lastly, the athletic building parking lot, we're starting to work on that to get that paved. It's looking good. So.
Good.
Lots of projects, lots of progress, so that's it.
All right, thank you. Extracurricular committee.
Did you make?
Yeah, I guess basically I was at the meeting. We talked with Brett as incoming AD, and kind of went over some things with him, and there was no big issues or anything. It was more of a kind of an introductory time with him.
And I think he's done a really nice job. I think programs are up and going and things are covered. I'm trying to pull up the minutes here to see if there was anything else, but
I just have one. We had a student athlete that received a Scholar All-American honors from United Soccer Coaches, and that was Landon Bartlett.
oh, good.
Awesome.
I saw on paper that was quite a nice honor.
Yeah.
A great honor, absolutely.
So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Anything else in that?
I'm just looking over the notes. I don't see. Nope. And we talked about the soccer concession stand, but that was all
Yeah.
finished, and we just covered that. So good.
And that was somewhat delayed getting that done, but we're glad that that got.
Weather.
I think it looks good.
Oh, it's awesome.
Weather had us scared.
Yeah, it is.
Is it nice out there?
Oh, heck yeah.
I've seen the video. So
Yeah, I went to the last soccer game and walked up inside and walked around. It's really awesome.
good.
So great.
Like I had visions in my head, and then that like exceeded it. So. but we were also able to put a new sound system in too. Did you see that?
At the soccer field.
Yeah.
The announcement, the
Yep.
PA for the.
That's really nice.
games, Yeah. All right, Career Center report.
They have not met yet this month, so I don't have a report.
Okay.
The only thing we probably should mention is just to know that the Board of Education recommends someone to serve on Ohio High Point's board, and Russ Blue has filled that slot, and he will no longer be doing that. So we've posted applications. We've actually started to get them in. There are requirements to fill that position, and so those requirements are on the application. I think we might have 4 applicants. So over the course, I think in October, the board will meet in executive session and go through those resumes, and then we make a recommendation. I think it's November to High Point, and then that person would start in January. So it's kind of an extension of the board. It's a neat position, but then that person would work closely right now with Sheena on different aspects. But that should be available on our website, I think, so the actual application, or you could call the district office and get a copy.
Policy committee?
Policy met last Friday, 16th. Biggest thing there was basically the lice policy, or the no nip policy to no live lice policy was our change on that. So that will be implemented, and then also we talked about looking at the athletic handbook in September. So future.
We just aligned, we had to align our policies with the CDC recommendations and the health department. That's all we do.
All right, thank you. Seeing no old business, move on to new business. Item 10, authorizations and resolutions.
Rush.
Is there a second?
Albert?
So let me run through and see if there's anything that jumps out.
Buses, is that the preliminary step to
Yes.
just get prices?
For the 3, yeah.
This allows us, if we need to buy a bus, to buy it through the purchasing cooperative.
The cooperative.
I do
But it
want to,
doesn't- yeah,
oh, go ahead.
It doesn't mean we're going to buy a bus.
Just
Right.
means that we are able. Just so that everyone understands what 10B is, I think the board does, but, so we approved a teacher contract with KEA. We approved a classified contract with OPSI. And then we have an administrative personnel policy for any type of person on an admin contract. And so most commonly we think of those people as principals, and they are, but we also have, for instance, Tracy's staff, my staff. You have things like your director of facilities, people like Regina, director of food service, director of transportation, director of technology. So those are all embedded under that administrative personnel policy. So that's what 10B is, and that contract aligns with the other 2 contracts that we approved. So that's what you see in 10B.
I guess we're allowing you to complete your studies.
Yeah, I'm asking permission. I technically, I guess I don't have to, but I always find it tough to give permission to myself, just to be fair. But our policy reads that the superintendent grants the permission. And so we look at studies that don't have a negative impact on our students or don't impact their ability to learn and things. And this will be an adult study. So I'm asking the board to grant me permission, just so that someone actually gave me permission to meet with teachers. And I'm looking at teacher leadership with all the Leader in Me programs about our implementation, what we need to do to sustain climate and culture, our district leadership team, how are we growing teacher leaders, how are we sustaining teacher leaders, what barriers. So it aligns with our strategic plan, Goal 5, and it also aligns with the work that basically I do every day anyway, but it'll just be a more in-depth, personal kind of conversation with teachers.
Any questions or comments then about item 10? If not, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Carney?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Ms. Striker?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes. Item 11 is personnel items. I have a motion to approve.
Striker.
Approved. Is there a second?
Rush.
I warned you about 11B because sometimes when we hire people we don't have all the transcripts in, so those are just some adjustments that you're seeing there based on transcripts. Carol McKinley has been doing this position for us for a very long time. She's done a really nice job and really helped with our third grade guarantee and some of those pieces. I really appreciate what she does. And our substitute teachers, we're always grateful, and you'll see people like Lori Paul and Tom Taylor on that list. We appreciate that. We really do. Some of the people that you're seeing that are hired, you're thinking, well, school started on the 12th, but that's why at the bottom it says that they did start on the 12th. We're just kind of going retro a little bit on a few people. Some of these are just moving people around.
Any questions or comments about that thing? Not, we can have a vote.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Ms. Striker?
Yes.
And the only thing I'll add, I know we already voted, which is good, but the only thing that I'll add is the 1.5% increase, that goes on top of that administrative policy. So that's the increase that we were able to give teachers and all of our classified staff this year. So that's what administrative contract people that were up would be getting the same.
Yep.
And we don't have steps built in that contract, so
Right.
unlike the other two contracts. So just to give you some perspective. Sorry, I missed that. I didn't flip.
Okay. We're then adjourned. It's 7:25. The next meeting will be September 16th, 7 o'clock here at the board office.